Well, welcome back to the show. Now we're joined by three guests who are all part of one unique solution. Terry Wise, General Manager of Worldwide Business Development at Amazon Web Services. Scott Richards, CEO and Principal of EMBI. And Patrick Nesmith, Executive Director of Client Development for Decision First Technologies. Now let's start with you, Terry. The benefits of SAP solutions are kind of obvious to lots of businesses. How have they benefited you in particular? Talk us through that with some very practical examples.
Yeah, so we actually help SAP customers deploy really complex software, SAP products, that has tremendous business value, but we actually help those customers deploy it faster with a much lower total cost of ownership by deploying it on the Amazon Web Services cloud infrastructure. We're actually finding companies of all sizes, large enterprises, mid-sized enterprises, achieving up to 70% cost savings on the infrastructure piece of their spend associated with SAP as a result of bringing it into the Amazon environment versus more traditional co-location or on-prem options.
You know, like Terry was saying, you know, certainly the total cost of ownership is definitely one of the great things about the cloud, but also the speed to delivery we're finding is phenomenal. Just in a matter of, you know, hours, we can have a client up and running in the cloud with AWS.
And how does that work?
How does that work? Well, from the marketplace or from the AWS console, you just simply click a button and select what kind of server you want to bring up, and in a matter of minutes, it's up and running. So we're finding that the value that our customers get, like EMBI here, is rather than having to wait weeks and weeks for hardware to be delivered, in a matter of minutes, they can be up and running on AWS. Which
makes a huge difference.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So tell me, I mean, we talked about this in the abstract. You work in the health industry, healthcare.
Right.
So tell me how it has made a difference to your business.
Well, it really comes down to being able to deploy these solutions quickly to our customers. They're struggling with having to buy these solutions and bring them on-house on premise. They've got a lot of projects going on in their space, and being able to move this into a cloud and on the market-leading business intelligence tool set gives them a chance to look at what their options are as far as how to move into this space, get a server up and running very quickly, take an out-of-the-box solution like ours into a department like the emergency department, and very quickly validate a solution, and then make a determination on its value proposition, and then be able to socialize it within the organization, and it can eventually, if in its own way, become a catalyst or a springboard for a larger enterprise deployment.
Because I guess what both of you are really involved in is just trying to understand your customer base, what their specific requirements are, and get the stuff that they need to them as quickly as possible without wasting any time or human resources. Isn't that the kind of crux of it? Or?
That's right. We've found historically that over 70% of the time and effort that customers have traditionally spent has been in the infrastructure. That's putting hardware and software and building data centers and running those data centers. And that's all investment that really doesn't add direct value to the actual business or the application. If we can reduce that significantly in the time it takes to provision that, then the customer can really focus on the business side of things and not what we call 70% of the muck, if you will.
And so, I mean, that would make a huge difference to the number of people you employ, how productive a business is, how happy your customer is going to be at the end of the day, how much money you have to spend on these things.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, with SAP Business Objects running on Amazon Web Services, managed for us by Decision First, I mean, it allows us to focus on our market and our customers. And what it does for our customers is it makes us available to them to be responsive, to develop our products, to take our domain expertise and really apply it to their business problems so that we're developing solutions that they then can use in their business to solve their business issues. And
Patrick?
so by being able to do that faster, we definitely provide them business agility.
Absolutely, and the cost of the hardware also is greatly reduced. When the customer's not having to buy hardware up front and wait for it to be installed, and so we're actually able to help save our customers money by deploying them in the cloud, like we've done with EMBI.
Right, and so how widely applied is this system at the moment? Are you at the cutting edge of this? Are you the pioneers, or are we seeing this increasingly across the kind of business landscape in the US?
So EMBI was our first customer that we deployed to AWS, to the cloud. And they were great to work with. They understood that this was cutting edge technology, and we were new to it. And but the great thing was that it was easy. even though they were prepared for some hiccups, we didn't really have those. It was just a matter of days, and we had their entire business objects environment up and running in the cloud, and we had migrated all of their content from their solutions, their data center that they had, and put it in the cloud in just days.
And if you're a cloudophobe, if there is such a thing, if you're slightly wary about the cloud because you think it's just not going to work for you, or it's too intrusive or whatever, it's too abstract, what would you say to a business that is still wary about it? How would they overcome their cloud thing?
Well, yeah, from our experience, right. It was incredibly easy, but yeah, just try it. It's the cost, the entry level cost is minimal, and that's one of the great things about it. There's not this huge upfront investment that you have to make because of the way that the pricing is structured. It's very cost effective for customers to try it out.
You're all nodding. Everyone's nodding.
Well, trying it is, we were able to accomplish some great things with Decision First. So I would say absolutely try it. I think if you're not in the cloud in the first person, not using a third-party software provider as a surrogate to go to the cloud, but in the first person, I think you really need to be there. If you're cloudophobic, I think that you'll find a partner like a Decision First.
I think we've invented a new term today, haven't we?
We might have. We have to look that up, right?
But again, practical examples. You say it's enabled you to do stuff that you weren't able to do before. Give me a very practical example of how that works.
Well, it's really comes down to taking the market-leading product and putting it into the hands of our clients. Whereas before, they're not able to afford these solutions. And so we take something that they may not be considering because of cost or because of the projects they've got going on and time and energy it takes to get there. And now we're putting it into their hands. And not only are we putting it into their hands, we're doing it in a matter of weeks and months.
And Terry, does the same apply to Amazon Web?
Yeah, absolutely. I think some of the things that we're doing to make it easier for customers to adopt is working very closely with SAP. SAP has been a terrific partner of ours for the last 2 years. We've invested very heavily on both sides to certify these products, make sure that they'll run and run well in the environment, to give the customers that level of comfort. And we've also invested heavily in building out the ecosystem with Decisions First, EMBI, and making sure that our partners and customers have the training, the tools, and the support to make it easier, make them more comfortable bringing more workloads into the cloud sooner.
Again, give me a practical example from your business.
Oh, sure. We've got biopharma companies that are actually, running molecular modeling workloads on Amazon Web Services using 51,000 cores in order to do research, drug discovery research that really wasn't possible before at from an economic perspective. They're doing that research now in 3 hours, spending $15,000 for the total infrastructure of those 51,000 cores. This is really innovative, kind of game-changing stuff.
Absolutely, sounds like it. When did you start using it?
We built it in 2006, so we've been running it, and we're working to get our partners and customers to use it ever since.
Excellent. That sounds like a happy trio here. Scott, you've got some. Go on.
It's worked out well. I mean, the SAP ecosystem has really brought together this solution, and now as a group, we're able to bring it out to the marketplace.
And it's continuing to evolve as well, where now, because of our partnership with SAP and AWS, we're actually able to offer pre-built servers with the business object software already installed and configured for customers to come into the marketplace and subscribe to. So now it literally is a click of a button and you've got business objects up and running in the cloud.
So it's a bit like iTunes for a business. Is that right? Is that a fair comparison?
You'll eventually get to an app.
No, but I mean, in other words, you are living within this ecosystem of sharing information, more efficient flow of expertise, and everything. I mean,
That's exactly it. I mean, it's one-click provisioning of the software and infrastructure that you need, purchased on an on-demand, pay-as-you-go basis. If at any point in time you're not happy with it or you want to try something else, turn it off, stop paying for it, and move on to the next thing.
Right. The next question, I guess, is what can be done to make this even better? What are the innovations out there that, despite the fact that we've gone incredibly far, that you still need, that you're still hoping for? Scott?
It has a lot to do with how the software is provisioned, the ability to scale up in licenses in a very seamless way. This is all brand new, as Patrick and Terry are saying. So, how it's been deployed in its first iteration, I think we're going to see it evolve over the next year or so. So that it becomes a lot more easier to not just spin it up, but also ramp up the number of users that licenses that you're getting from SAP on.
Yep.
Patrick, anything that...
No, I totally agree with that, and yeah, I think we see all that coming from both SAP and Amazon. Both are very supportive of what we're doing in the cloud and wanting to help us move forward with that.
Yeah, and I would just add that we're going to continue to invest with SAP and SAP's ecosystem to bring more and more products, whether they're core SAP products or other third-party products like EMBI and others. So that's where we're headed. Make it faster and easier to bring more of this great technology into an on-demand pay-as-you-go model.
I'm convinced. Sounds great. Thank you very much. Sorry for getting your names mixed up at the beginning.
No problem.
Patrick, Scott, Terry, thanks for joining us here on the sofa.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And I hope you found that interesting. I certainly did, and we'll be back with more later on. See you later.